Well, first of all, I mean, obviously it's been a great 14 days, and there's a lot of things that have happened out here, and I really do think we're in a really good place. I'm not being complacent of any sorts, and we still have a really, really good week as we go back to campus where we'll stay in this camp mode where we'll, push and have all-day stuff, morning and afternoon. And then next Saturday we'll kind of wrap up what I would say camp with another good scrimmage. And then we'll give these guys a little bit of break and then kind of shift gears, even though we still got a ways to the first game. But there's a lot of really good things. We got an older team. I think we got 34 guys that are, so to speak, in their last year of college eligibility. I don't know what that really means, other than that they're older guys. So we have a more mature team. There's some things we're going to have to do in these next 2 weeks, being a little bit smarter, but I really do feel like we're in a good place. I think tonight was a good night for us to kind of get some young guys some work. The older guys, truly maybe the ones got a good 16, 17 reps of scrimmage, and the young guys got a lot of work.
Where is Emerson Mandel maybe taking that step forward? Because that first week there was a lot of rotation at right guard, and that second week it was pretty much all him at the first team.
Yeah, to be honest, Emerson's done a great job. Emerson's been banged up, and as you know, everybody's banged up. But in particular, the offensive line, nobody takes more reps than the offensive line. If you look and watch out here, the defensive line guys roll, offensive line guys do not, and they have to be able to do it. And he makes some really big steps, but he made some steps in the mind game and the toughness game that really came a long way, meaning that, he was banged up, I think, about 5 days ago and didn't miss a practice. I know he was hurting, but he really kind of just bared down and played really well. And I think he made some strides and got over a hump of some things mentally, and I know the guys are counting on him and they trust him.
Luke, obviously, Corey Walker, health-wise, was able to do a little more this last week or so. What did he show you these last couple of days, especially setting that edge?
He's done it. He's a really good football player, and Corey came into camp with, just kind of got it back right coming into camp. And we reminded him, look, we know you've played a lot of football. You're not an 18, 19-year-old guy that we really need to, push and see and see how tough you are. So we had to be smart with him in those first few days, maybe even the first week. But this last week, he's really kind of grinded through. He's not been super, probably 100%. And I don't mean that anybody's 100%, but you could tell his back was bothering. He was still stiff. Tonight was probably one of the first nights where he's kind of looked himself. And he can be a difference maker for us. And so there's some real depth in that line with Darrell Peterson and those guys. So I think there's a lot of really good things, and that's maybe one of the areas I'm as excited about as anything.
What have you seen from your backup quarterbacks, Simmons and O'Neal?
That's what tonight was really about, as much as anything. Try to put these guys in situations to see how they really react and respond. And it's hard sometimes when you've got a younger offensive line group in front of it, but we got to evaluate those guys. I don't know where we are just yet. I like both of them. I think they both bring some different things to the table. At that position in particular, I think you're going to have to go into that next week where we may have to go some live situations with them and see how they react. The good fortunes are you've got some guys, and I'm not saying we'd be stupid and take shots and things like that, drop back passes, but in the ability to scramble and make good decisions with that, I think that there's some opportunities in this next week that we need to see where those guys are in the grand scheme of things. I think we know where Billy is. But we always got to be prepared and recognize where those next two guys are.
Don't want to say too much, obviously, in regards of scheme, but you've used Tyrell Henry in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Just what is it about his skill set that you like him to try and apply pressure to defense?
I think first and foremost, he showed us a maturity level of taking care of the football. And Tyrell was hurt most of all last year. Came back and put the ball on the ground one time. And I'm not saying you hold that against somebody, but the truth of the matter is you don't get many opportunities. And the big thing for me was to see, what he could do with the ball in his hand. And I don't mean can he make guys miss, can he hit the thing, but will he get downhill, will he get vertical, and will he take care of the football? And he's done a phenomenal job all camp. And I mean that not just in catching balls and running. I mean, in traffic, putting the ball away, getting vertical. He's shown a toughness that maybe I would joke with him that you might not expect from a 170, 75-pound guy, but he plays above his size level, and he's done a really good job at taking care of the football, and that's what I'm as impressed with as anything.
Tyrus Gaines had to play quite a bit at that field corner spot with Rico with whatever he's dealing with. What have you seen out of him being a young guy getting thrown into the fire like that?
Those young corners have had a lot of fire under them. I mean, they have played a lot of ball. They've been in there against the ones. They've been challenged a lot. They've been beat, but they haven't batted an eye. And so you know, again, it would make you nervous if you really thought you were going in to play with one of those true freshman guys. But I think that they are getting battle tested, and they're gonna play this year. And in what capacity and how much on defense, how much on special teams, I don't know. But I can tell you this: they're not going to be freshmen by the time this camp's over and by the time we get into week 3 or 4. Good.
When you have that kicker competition, Coach Mitchell was talking about that the other day.
I don't know
These
yet.
guys are so close. Like,
it
what
is.
are the things outside of maybe what we see, the makes and misses on field goals that go into your decision making?
It'll be sitting down with them too. I think there's a mindset to a lot of those things. I think they're very similar, but I think we'll have to really sit down with those guys and see where we are, and see what's best for the whole group.
In terms of retaining Lam, kind of how much of a role did you have in that, and kind of what were those conversations?
Well, we all had a role in it. But Lam wanting to be here is as big a deal as anything, and he has done a phenomenal job. He is actually as good a leader in that group as anybody is, and so I don't know where we'd be without him. I'm glad we have him, and if we happen to have him for another year, we'll take great care of him. All right. Thanks.
Thanks.